Greetings to all the viewers. Now we are going to conduct the session which is accompanied by the compound called cetrol. Cetrol is the natural product which is the part of terpenoid. So most of the terpenoids are composed by the isoprene units and which are alternatively regarded as essential oils. Cetrol is the part of that essential oil only. Here you can clearly notice the plant from which you are able to extract the cetrol, cetrol product, natural product it will be. The session is conducted by Dr. Kavita Kottireddy Kota. Let's enter into our today's session. Cetrol is a natural compound with the molecular formula C10H16O. If you are observing the molecular formula, C5 is the composition for one isoprene unit. C10H16O is a resultant of two isoprene units. When two isoprene units are going to be combined, C10H16O will be formed. That is the monoterpene compound. It is a kind of acyclic monoterpene. And if you observe clearly, here is the aldehyde functional group is present. Always the molecule existing in a double bonds. Molecule is accompanied by the double bond. That's the reason why there is a provision for isomerism. That's the reason why always cetrol exists in two isomeric possibilities. Two isomeric forms are present. One is called geraniol. Second is called nerol. Geraniol is the part of E isomer and nerol is the part of Z isomer. E for entacogene, Z for zusammen, right? So here when geraniol is present, there the existence, that means orientation matters for the stereochemistry. Stereochemistry purely laying upon the orientation of the molecule. That orientation only the main criteria for the characteristic properties of the compounds, right? That's the reason why, though both belongs to the same compound, same molecular formula, but based on its orientation, E isomer is having highest fragrance in comparison to the Z isomeric form. That's the reason why geraniol is having strongest lemon scent over nerol, right? So this is regarding the cetrol introduction. Let's enter into our key points which related with the cetrol. How can we define? How can we assume the cetrol? What properties are laying with this, right? So molecular weight of the compound. If you observe cetrol, it is the kind of open chain molecule, and there you can find one branched system, and conjugated double bonded system will be there. Aldehyde functional group is residing within the molecule, and another terminal center is having one double bond over there. So the entire molecule is having C10H16O molecular formula, and molecular weight will be 152.23 gram per mole. It is existing in pale yellow color liquid. Being it is an essential oil, it is a kind of liquid existing in pale yellow in color, right? Order. Everybody aware, citrus and citral related kind of oils are having fragrant smell and they are resembling like lemon like smell, right? Solubility. Being it is a kind of oil and composed by the carbon and hydrogens only, the solubility in the water is almost negligible. It is impractical, we can say. And it is more convenient to dissolve in alcohol and oils, being it is the kind of organic compound, non-polar compound. Now let's enter into another segment where we can find this cetrol, where you can extract this cetrol. Occurrence or origin for the cetrol we are going to discuss about, right? Cetrol occurs naturally in the essential oils of the plants. These are the kind of plants from which you are able to extract the cetrol. Everybody aware about lemongrass. It will give the flavor to the tea and enhance the flavor of food materials as well. Lemongrass is the kind of material from which economic amount of cetrol can be extracted. Its scientific name is mentioned over here, Cymbopogon citratus. Let me repeat again. Cymbopogon citratus is the scientific name for the plant called lemongrass, from which the economic amount of cetrol will be extracted. Later on, lemon myrtle. Lemon myrtle you can clearly observe over here. Bachosia citradora is the scientific name of the lemon myrtle. So from this also citrol is extracted in the abundant quantity. It is the kind of essential oil we are able to extract from this plant as well. Orange peel. From this orange peel also you are able to extract the citrol. Citrus species, it is the kind and enriched with the vitamin C. Let's go with the another segment called applications, where you can find the applications for the citrol. Flavoring agent. Obviously, essential oils are flavoring agents. Most of the terpenoids are essential oils and they are flavoring agents only. And whenever the citrol added to the food, that give the lemony flavor or soaring taste to the food materials and even beverages as well. Perfume industry, being it is the oil, it will add the fragrance and aroma kind of smell is available, and it is having perfumery property, so the fresh lemon scent will be prepared, starting with the cetrol. Synthesis of vitamins, it will be the starting material, alternatively we can say precursor in the industrial generation, industrial synthesis of vitamin A and vitamin E. If you want to synthesize vitamin A and E within the laboratory, you can use the citrol as a starting material or precursor, so that it is obvious to get the vitamin A and E on laboratory scale. Pharmaceutical usage. So even citrol is having the applications in the medication, antimicrobial property, able to kill the pathogens, disease causing organisms are suppressed by means of cetrol. That's why antimicrobial properties are more common for them. Anti-inflammatory. Inflammations are possible whenever the joints are rubbing themselves, friction generated in between the bones, right? So that swelling is possible, reddishness will be possible, severe pain you can notice. All these are the symptoms of inflammations. Whenever any people are suffering with the inflammations, we can consume the cetrol, so that it give the relief from that inflammations. Obviously, being it is a kind of perfumery material and disinfectant, because of antimicrobial property, so that it is the most important cleansing agent, so that for floor cleaning or else any kind of material cleaning, you can go for the cetrol as a cleansing product. So these are the kind of applications we can look into the glance about the citrol. Let's go with the chemistry. What chemistry hidden in this molecule called citrol? If you observe clearly, citrol is composed by the carbon and hydrogen, one heteroatom oxygen as well, where you can clearly observe aldehydic functional group, and it is in the conjugation with the double bond, and another double bond is also there far away from this double bond, non-conjugated one, and two methyl are gemmed with respect to each other, and this is the kind of molecule citrol will be, where the essential components are aldehyde. Aldehyde is present within the molecule, that will give the interesting research to the researchers or scholars, because aldehyde is more reactive in the organic chemistry, being it is more prone for the oxidation further, like aldehyde, ester, any other extendable properties, extendable products, and even it go for the cyclization, and even it go for the further reduction properties as well, and we can go for condensation. Another most important property for aldehyde will be condensation property. It will go for condensation to extend the molecule further, right? This is the way aldehyde functional group is the important thing in this cetrol molecule. And existence of double bonds. There is a possibility for isomerization. Wherever double bonds are located, double bond orientation matters for their characteristic properties. In whatever double bond is laying, the double bond impart its properties, right? So that isomerization matters for its properties. Addition reactions also characteristic due to the existence of these double bonds. So that double bond chemistry also operated in the cetrol molecule. It is also involved in the synthetic transformations. Another product formations are possible over there by means of transformation reactions, producing ionones. A new compound will be synthesized called ionone. Ionone is a material used in the perfumes, fragrance, aroma kind of material it will be, and it is a starting material for the synthesis of carotenoids. Carotenoids are nothing but vitamin A related compounds will be synthesized. This is the way, so many possibilities we have with this molecule called a cetrol. Let's go with another segment called biosynthesis. How this cetrol manufactured within the plant material we are going to discuss now. Biosynthesis of cetrol involves generation of monoterpenoaldehyde through isoprenoid pathway. Here, so many kind of pathways are available in the biosynthetic concept, where isoprenoid pathway is applied for this cetrol manufacturing within the plant species, right? A key metabolic route in the plant for producing terpenes and their derivatives. Isoprenoid pathway is the most important pathway for the terpene derivatives, right? The synthesis primarily occurs in the glandular cells of plants tissues and involves the following steps. Glandular cells involved in this pathway, and there the cetrol manufacturing is possible. So here isoprene is a skeleton which is mentioned over. Isoprene is the most important unit, fundamental unit we can say, in order to manufacture all kind of terpenes, right? Let's go with the biosynthetic pathway steps involved in this cetrol manufacturing. Right. Precursor formation. In order to manufacture the cetrol, the two key components are very essential. One is said to be isopentenyl diphosphate, abbreviated as IPP. Dimethyl allyl diphosphate, which is abbreviated as DMAPP. Right. Let me show both the chemical compositions of the compounds where you can notice IPP and DMAPP. Right, so both the phosphates are required as a precursor molecule in order to manufacture the cetrol, and either you may go through mevalonic acid pathway or else methyl erythritol phosphate pathway. Most usually terpenes are synthesized by mevalonic acid pathway, so that we will apt this mevalonic acid pathway in cytosol. In a cytosol, the process will be proceeded, and we will see how the synthesis is possible. Initially, acetyl coenzyme A will be the starting material. Whatever the terpene you are taking, acetyl coenzyme A will be the starting material. That will be transformed further into acetoacetyl coenzyme A. Further, HMG coenzyme A will be synthesized, and further it will be transformed into mevalonate. Mevalonic acid pathway we are observing, right? So this mevalonate kinase enzyme will be applied over, so that it will be turned into this mevalonic acid, now turned into mevalonate phosphate. Later on, phosphomevalonate kinase enzyme will be added, so that mevalonate pyrophosphate will be synthesized. Mevalonate pyrophosphate further transformed into isopentenyl pyrophosphate, which is the precursor for our cetrol synthesis, IPP. Right. In order to make this compound, the enzyme required here will be mevalonate diphosphate decarboxylate. Let me repeat. Mevalonate diphosphate decarboxylase is required, so that MPP is converted into IPP. After getting this isopentenyl pyrophosphate, we have to go for isomerase, because along with IPP, we also need dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate. In order to manufacture this one, we have to go for isopentenyl pyrophosphate isomerase enzyme. Whenever this enzyme will be added, IPP will be isomerized into DMEAPP. So this is the way both the precursors got generated. Now we synthesized both the precursors. After getting precursors, IPP and DMAPP. Now the next step, synthesis of geranyl diphosphate, which is simply abbreviated as GPP. In order to manufacture GPP, the required enzyme is geranyl diphosphate synthase. Let me show. Geranyl diphosphate synthase is required in order to condense, in order to blend IPP with DMAPP. Whenever these two are going to be blended up, we are going to get geranyl pyrophosphate. GPP is synthesized. This is the step we are expecting over here. This is the GPP is the most important key intermediate in order to manufacture so many kind of terpenes. Geraniol can be synthesized, limonene, Myrcene can be synthesized starting from this GPP intermediate. This is the way GPP manufacturing we covered with. Later on, after getting this GPP undergo enzymatic transformation catalyzed by the geraniol synthase. What we have to apply? Geraniol synthase to be applied. Whenever geraniol synthase is applied, that will be turned into geraniol. Geraniol is nothing but this pyrophosphate will be removed. Rather, we will get this hydroxy functional group. That is called geraniol. OL denotes what? Hydroxy, right? After getting this geraniol, by applying geraniol synthase enzyme, it should undergo oxidation. Oxidation denotes what? The aldehyde to be transformed into, hydroxy will be transformed into aldehyde. In order to make this aldehyde, geraniol dehydrogenase to be added. Let me show geraniol dehydrogenase. GDH denotes geraniol dehydrogenase. So that hydroxy will be converted into a aldehydic one. That is regarded as a geraniol. Can you find any difference? Geraniol is having OL, geraniol is having AL. AL means aldehyde, OL means hydroxy, right? So this geraniol is nothing but E isomer of citral. Geraniol is nothing but E isomer of citral. It will be applied with another isomerase enzyme. Whenever isomerase enzyme is applied, so the aldehyde which is laying upward can be shifted to downward. This is called a nerol. Nerol is a kind of Z isomer. Geraniol is a kind of E isomer. Both isomers, if we are mixing up, so that cetrol will be manufactured. The blend of these two, geraniol nerol blend, is called a cetrol. Right, the mixture of geraniol and nerol collectively regarded as a cetrol, which is the defense compound in the plants and the signaling of the molecules. This is the way cetrol manufacturing, this is the biosynthesis of cetrol was completed. Now we will go after synthesizing, after observing the biosynthetic pathway, we have to go for the conformation. How can we conform the cetrol? By the spectral analysis, right? Let's go with the UV visible spectroscopy first. UV visible spectroscopy will be absorbed in between a wavelength versus absorbance. Whenever we are plotting the graph, broad lines will be appeared, lambda values in the nanometer scale. You can notice so many compounds are in the mixture. Our concern regarding this only citrol. That's why blue color line indicates the C for citrol. That citrol lambda values indicated around 238 nanometers. That 238 nanometers range citrol line that it indicates the presence of conjugation. Can you find any conjugation within the molecule? Yes, we have the conjugation. Aldehyde is in conjugation with the double bond, right? So that 238 nanometer characteristic peak implies what? Conjugation is present within the citrol molecule. Go with the IR spectroscopy. Characteristic peaks are multiple peaks you can notice. The peak at the range of 1725. Can you notice 1725 peak? That 1725 centimeter inverse peak that regarded for the carbonyl stretching. Within the molecule we have aldehyde, right? That aldehyde will stretch at the 1725 centimeter inverse. And 1660 to 1600 centimeter inverse peak is also there. The 1600 peak is also noticed over. That is for what? Carbon-carbon double bond. Within the molecule, we have double bond, right? That double bond in specific conjugated double bond is giving the peak at the range of 1660 to 1600 centimeter inverse. 2700 to 2800 centimeter inverse peak you can notice. Here this short peak you can notice over. That corresponds to aldehyde carbon hydrogen stretching. In the aldehyde we have CH bond, right? That CH able to stretch at this point. 29 to 3000, this is the most important. Another one here you can clearly observe at the range of 3000 centimeter inverse. That is for what? carbon hydrogen stretching of sp3 and sp2. Can you find any difference? Carbon hydrogen of aldehyde is giving 27 to 2800 and sp3 sp2 carbon hydrogen stretching is at 29 to 3000 centimeter inverse. This is the way you can clearly observe the IR spectrum, and the inference drawn from this infrared spectrum will be aldehyde is present within the molecule, that is known to you, and conjugated system will be there. There is a conjugation that these points got confirmed by IR spectroscopy. Let's go with the nuclear magnetic. In that we are observing proton NMR first. Within the molecule, the labeling is mentioned with this asterisk or star mark over here. Within the molecule, aldehyde is there, right? Aldehyde characteristic peak hydrogens are downfield, that is at 9.5 to 10 ppm range. Aldehyde here clearly observed a very short knots you can observe. 5.6 to 6.2 also there, that is for carbon carbon double bond. Here carbon carbon double bond hydrogens are observed over here, and whatever methyl and methylene carbons are present within the molecule, obviously they are going towards upfield, and they are giving the peaks in the range of 1 to 2.5. Most of the, if you observe, here we have one methyl, here another methyl, here methyl, here CH2, here CH. Methyl and methylene are so many, right? So many hydrogen. That's the reason why multiple peaks you can notice at the range of 1 to 2. In between 1 to 2.5, so many peaks you notice, that is because of so many methyl and methylene hydrogens are present. And whatever labeled hydrogens are there, labeled hydrogens are giving the peaks at the range of 1.5. This is the way the entire proton NMR spectrum is clearly depicted on the delta scale. Let's go with the C13 NMR spectra and individual carbon nature. Carbon peaks are mentioned over, and spectral lines also manifested over here. The important spectral lines corresponding to 190 ppm, giving the nature of the carbon of aldehyde. So the carbon resided with the aldehyde is giving the peak at the range of 190. This 193 ppm peak is observed. If you observe 190, this is the peak corresponds to what? Aldehyde carbon atom. 120 to 140 ppm peak belongs to what? Carbon-carbon double bond. 15 to 40, obviously, methylene and methyl. That is upfield shift. You can, just like hydrogens, here also carbon resided. Methyl and methylene is giving near to the internal standard, so that 15 to 40 so many peaks are noticed over for the nature of the carbon atoms in the C13 NMR spectrum. Let's go with the mass spectroscopy. Mass spectra, molecular ion mass spectra, the intention to draw the mass spectrum will be the deduction of its molecular weight. Molecular weight of the compound is given by the molecular ion peak. Molecular ion peak is observed at the range of 152 mass by charge corresponding to C10H16O, that is citral molecule. If you observe, this is clear peak, you can notice at 152 M by Z value. And another fragments also there. Among all the important fragments are loss of aldehyde. Aldehyde fragment will be 44. If we lost 108 M by Z value, 108 M by Z, can you notice anywhere? 108 M by Z will be there. This is the 108 because of the loss of aldehyde fragment. And another key fragment will be 69. 69 is noticed over here, and 41 another fragment is observed. These are the fragmented peaks. Molecular ion peak corresponds to its molecular weight. So molar mass can be easily extracted using mass spectroscopy. Let's go with the another segment called how can we synthesize the same citrol within the laboratory. Alternative always requires, right? We are not supposed to go in a single direction in a blind way, right? Alternative is required everywhere. That is the safe side. In the same manner, the citrol also synthesized within the laboratory. Laboratory scale synthesis of the citrol is carried by taking the starting materials. Myrcene is the precursor in order to synthesize the citrol within the laboratory, where you can see clearly it is a carbon and hydrogen. That is nothing but it is an alkene compound. A naturally occurring terpene that serves as a precursor, that is myrcene for this cetrol manufacturing. In order to convert this myrcene into a citrol, the important criteria will be oxidizing agent, because we have to introduce the oxygen over this molecule, right? That's why aldehyde group should be generated. That's why oxidizing agent is required. For that purpose, initially carbon monoxide and hydrogen to be taken. Whenever carbon monoxide, hydrogen will be added, oxygen will be inserted, aldehyde group will be generated over there. In the presence of rhodium-based catalyst, transition metal catalyst will be applied over in order to transform that hydrocarbon into a aldehydic functional group. Later on, hydroformylation is required, nothing but introduction of aldehyde only. That intermediate further go for the selenium dioxide or else manganese dioxide. This is a mild oxidizing agent, so that it is possible to manufacture this citrol molecule. Let me show the entire scheme of synthesis of this cetrol, where myrcene is the starting material, carbon monoxide and hydrogen will be added in the presence of rhodium related the catalyst. This able to give the oxygenated molecule, and later on we have to treat with the selenium dioxide or else manganese dioxide can be applied alternatively. A mixture of products will be generated. One is a geraniol and either is a cetrol. The geraniol and cetrol combination together is said to be a cetrol molecule. This is the way laboratory grade synthesis is possible. Reagents required are the strong oxidizing agent like selenium dioxide or else manganese dioxide are required. Geraniol and narol will be synthesized by hydroformylation process. And this is the way myrcene can be transformed into a citrol molecule. By this, we ended up with the lab scale synthesis of citrol. The segment left over will be the applications where we are going to apply this molecule, right? Citrol, a key component in the flavor, fragrance, and pharmaceutical industries, has a wide range of applications due to its lemon-like aroma and versatile chemical structure. Below are the primary uses of this molecule, right? So obviously citrol is able to enhance the flavor of the food, and it will give the fragrance, aroma like smell, and the perfumery tendency will be there. It has the property of diffusion, being it is essential oil, and medication properties also the key additives for this molecule. And it is having aroma, lemon like aroma smell over there, so that we can find a distinctive applications in the various fields. Let's go with the flavoring property. When citrol essential oil is added in the food and beverages, it used to give the fresh lemony flavor to the soft drinks and the candies and baked goods, even to the ice creams. Wherever you need the lemon flavor, there you can apply this citrol oil, right? And the natural flavoring compound in the essential oils, it is the natural flavor, right? Chewing gums, whenever you are using chewing gums and desserts, in that also it is the additive in order to enhance the taste of that kind of food materials, so that all these are flavoring properties of the citrol. Let's go with the second segment called fragrance. Being it is a kind of aroma and essential oil, it is exerting fragrance over there, and perfumes and cosmetics are composed by the citrol materials, citrol oils. In the perfumes, deodorants, soaps, and lotions, the citrus scent used to introduced in order to make the freshness, in order to give the pleasantness over there, often found in the household products like air fresheners and even cleansing agents. We are able to blend with this. It used to give the freshness and the lemony and fragrance over there. And another application, we can say pharmaceuticals. Even it is a potent medicative agent. It used to kill so many kind of microbes, disease causing organisms, so many bacteria, virus, fungi, algae, so many disease causing organisms easily destroyed by means of this kind of citrol. So that antimicrobial property, antibacterial property is the antifungal property, all these kind of disinfectant can be equipped by means of the cetrol. In either anti-inflammatory, just now we already discussed about inflammations. Wherever inflammations are present, they are conveniently curated by means of the cetrol. Aromatherapy. So essential oils are used to relieve the stress, relieve the pains, relieve the anxiety, and the relaxation conditions will be introduced by means of this aromatherapy using cetrol. And in the chemical industry, being it is the kind of potent ingredient called aldehyde and presence of double bond over there, so that so many kind of new materials can be synthesized conveniently starting from cetrol. Vitamin A and vitamin E can be synthesized starting from the cetrol. It is the precursor for the synthesis of A and E vitamins. Iron production. Iron is another transformative product of the cetrol, so that it can be synthesized by chemical modification of that one. And starting from this iron, it is possible to synthesize vitamin K as well. And carotenoids can be easily manufactured starting from this iron. So all these can be started from the cetrol only. And another application we can observe, that is the pest control. Whenever we are extracting the cetrol from the nature, being it is a natural product only, it is having mosquito repellent property. That's the reason why it used to conveniently kill the mosquitoes, and flies can be easily removed by means of this what's cetrol. And eco-friendly pest control formulations can be blended with the cetrol, so that conveniently we can use in the croplands in order to enhance the crop yield by destroying the disease causing pests in the croplands. Food preservatives. We can store the food conveniently for the longer days, longer time. Preservatives or additives are required, right? In that condition, cetrol is the effective ingredient used to fight against the pathogen, so that it used to avoid the destroy of the food materials. It will preserve the food for the longer time. So the beverages in the food preservations, we are supposed to add the cetrol as the key ingredient. Material applications, the most important material application being it is the kind of nature extract, so that in the manufacturing of biodegradable materials, we are supposed to blend with this material called cetrol. It used to give biodegradable polymers. So it is the essential additive over there. And bioplastic manufacturing, we have to add this cetrol, so that its properties will be uplifted, enhanced. Research in biotechnology, obviously, being it is a kind of organic molecule, it is possible to modify and extend the molecule, and make the molecule into a kind of complex, or else any biologically more potent in a further research. That's the reason why it is the key starting material for the researcher in order to go for the further research over there. Even in the green chemistry, being it is a natural product, green chemistry is also in the vicinity of this molecule, because so many kind of molecules can be synthesized starting from this cetrol. It is the precursor for so many compounds. Environmental friendly organic reactions will be more probed by means of this cetrol molecule. Natural oils. So many oils can be manufactured starting from lemongrass. Lemon balm will be synthesized, even lime. Such kind of aroma containing oils, balms, and gels can be manufactured starting from the cetrol. And even in the therapeutic applications, whenever you are synthesizing any kind of oils and balms and um, uh, aromatherapy, at that condition we can blend with the cetrol, so that it used to induce the calming property, and it used to give the pleasantness, and that freshness is also possible. That kind of blending property is also present for the cetrol. By this way, concluded the session. In the session, we covered with the entire comprehensive description regarding the cetrol, from where you're going to extract this one, what kind of key properties accompanied by the cetrol molecule, what is the pathway in order to synthesize cetrol in the living organism called biosynthetic pathway is discussed in a clear manner. and what analytical tools are required in order to confirm the molecule citrol. Later on, how can we synthesize alternatively in the laboratory scale, and eventually how can we apply this molecule in our daily life, in what way it will give the more best applications to the mankind. All kind of things are covered in the session regarding the citrol. Hopefully, this is more informative for all the viewers. And the session is conducted by Dr. Kavita Kottireddy Kota. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Thank you, one and all.